Today, Elon Musk became the world's first trillionaire. And I know that number is hard to comprehend, it just bounces off our brain. We talked about it earlier, $1 million an hour for 100 years, and still wouldn't even quite get you there. And it makes you really wonder how much is $1 trillion. Now, a few years ago, there was another YouTuber by the name of Humphrey Yang who showed rice to describe the wealth of the world's richest people. He used Jeff Bezos. Back in the day, it was a large number. Don't get me wrong. The rice could hardly fit into this room. But we're gonna do that same thought experiment, and actually that same little experiment for maybe the next generation of viewers. So we have just a couple pound bag of rice, and for each one of these little grains, it's gonna be about $10,000. If we looked at this and gradually over time, let's look at a teacher salary, something that I would like to do. You would have looked about 7 grains of rice, small little nothing, right? If you were to look at now, we pick it up, the average millionaire, you pick up about a teaspoon worth of this rice, right? We're still not really quite making a dent. As you go into the billionaire, you start to have to go into bags of rice. One of my friends, when I was younger, explained math to me and how exponential growth over time, and it always blew my mind. We're not going into this, but to think that there's a person out there worth $1 trillion, a person that could take this little grain of rice and turn it into 1,005 pound bags. We're talking about 2 tons worth of rice that we could not fit in this room for sure. What is the goal of a person that has that much money? What kind of work can he or she do to change the world? What should be the goals of this? We look at and talked about education earlier. If you can send every single person in the country, in the US, to college for free, if you could send them all to whatever trade school they want, build the country from really the bottom up. You need to have all these jobs be filled. You need to have a system in place. You need to have an educated populace with a 5% tax on that wealth. I'm not here to take people's money, and I'm not here to tell them that they can't get rich, but there has to be a limit somewhere. And if you can change the entire world with the amount of wealth you have and don't, then we've lost the plot. I mean, he has to have more money than entire countries. I would like to know how many countries have more money, have more GDP than one man right now. And I'm sure that the number would probably shock us all. But I still think of what can be done with that much money. And I'm not here to harp on taking people's money and how we should tax it, but we're all getting taxed. And we're getting taxed at very high rates, the middle class, the normal person. And even the wealthier among us, the people that do make a little bit more money, the moderately rich, they also get just hammered in taxes. But we've lost the plot of the entire thing for me as humans. When you could have that much and you could change the world, and we could actually sit back. What does my country need? What does the world need? Do we need more tradesmen? We do. We have a crumbling infrastructure, and across the world, infrastructure is not even built. We could train all these people. We could give people a purpose. Maybe that's what's causing the the violence to go up again in our society. Maybe it's simply boredom. And I don't want people to be working 8 hours a day every day for the rest of their lives until their bodies are destroyed. But we have to have a purpose for each person. And if you can be the best at anything, I don't care what that trade is, I don't care what that job is. And even if it's just a job, if you do it to take care of your family, or if you do it to go home and enjoy yourself, that's their own business. That's everybody's. But we've lost our way for sure. And when you could see that numbers like this can exist is pretty mind blowing stuff. And just to go through some of it, I mean, he has more money than the next five richest people in the world combined. And that's that's pretty mind blowing stuff. I I wish if I ever had that much wealth, I don't know what I would do with it. I don't know if it would change me as a person. I don't know if I would want to help everybody. But I truly believe in the best out of people the older I get. And I think, you know, when they're gaining that wealth, or when anybody is in power, whatever you want to be, it's on the way up, it makes sense. But at some point, we're going to have on the way down. And unless you're a dictator and you die and control the country, or a horrible death from a revolution, whatever it might be, the wealthy typically are going to have a buildup, and as their health starts to deteriorate, they realize how much they could do, but it's too late. You don't have the energy, you don't have the time. And I'm saying this is a person that has both the energy and the time to change the world. I think we should bring down college prices. Yes, for sure. Uh, but he could pay for it all. And I don't think college is made for everybody. I think that we're not all cookie cutter people. This is not how society works. And some people would be a waste of time to go to college. They say, well, educate yourself. You would obviously go there just to be a more well rounded person. We live in a time of technology that is unbelievable. You can be as well rounded a person as you want, reading the same books, reading the same studying the same things that they would in university, plus having any kind of trade. And we all look down on uh, professions like plumbers until a toilet breaks. This is my older generation would tell me this. You have to have people that build the society. You have to have people that maintain the society. And more importantly, instead of looking down and all that, we have to have people that we praise us that keep that society running. And imagine having the money to build a wild infrastructure. What if we had trains all over America like they did Europe, and travel became that much easier? And we had jobs for 50 years guaranteed to put all these trains and put all these tracks down. And had our goal was to have the best train system, prettiest, safest, best functioning in the world. One person could pay for that. Like and subscribe. I would love to know what you guys think. And what would you do with $1 trillion?